Alrighty folks, and now we're back for episode 2 of the Dragon Age Origins Lorethrough. I'm Warden Majir, and I'm one of the bros of Broheim, so welcome to Broheim. Anyway, we're going to be jumping right back in here today, exactly where we left off. As soon as we hit OK here, we're going to jump right into the origin story for our characters, so let's begin, shall we?
You were born amidst the Dalish elves, noble wanderers who refused to join the society of humans that subjugated their homeland so long ago. The Dalish travel the land in tightly knit clans, struggling to maintain their half-forgotten lore in a human world that fears and despises them. You spend your time hunting with your clanmate Tamlin in the forests, and as is sometimes the case, your quarry is not always the local wildlife.
It's a Dalish!
And you three are somewhere you shouldn't be.
Let us pass, Elf. You have no right to stop us.
No? We will see about that, won't we? You're just in time. I found these humans lurking in the bushes. Bandits, no doubt.
We aren't bandits, I swear. Please don't hurt us.
You Shemlin are pathetic. It's hard to believe you ever drove us from our homeland.
We've never done nothing to you, Dalish. We didn't even know this forest was yours.
This forest isn't ours, fool. You've stumbled too close to our camp. You Shems are like vermin. We can't trust you not to make mischief. What do you say, Lethalon? What should we do with them?
Let's find out what they were doing here.
Does it matter? Hunting or banditry, we'll need to move camp if we let them live.
Look, we didn't come here to be trouble. We just found a cave.
Yes, a cave. With ruins like I've never seen. We thought there might be,
Treasure? So you're more akin to thieves than actual bandits.
I'd like to see these ruins.
So would I. I've never heard of ruins in these parts.
But I have proof. Here, we found this just inside the entrance.
This stone has carvings. Is this Elvish? Written Elvish?
There's more in the ruins. We didn't get very far in, though.
And why not?
There was a demon. It was huge with black eyes. Thank the Maker we were able to outrun it.
A demon. Where is this cave?
Just off the west, I think. There's a cave in the rock face and a huge hole just inside.
Well, do you trust them? Shall we let them go?
So they can bring a mob to drive us all out? No. Kill them all.
Yes. One could expect no less from a Shem. This will not take long. Well, shall we see if there's any truth to this story? These carvings make me curious.
Sounds like a good idea.
And if we find anything, the Keeper will want to know.
Alright. So, first things first, obviously we are a mage, so a bow probably isn't our best weapon, though that was still a pretty cool scene there. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and get my guy all equipped here with some stuff. As you can see, I have started with some gear here. I'm playing the Ultimate Edition of the game, so it comes with all of the DLC pre-installed with it. That includes all of this gear here, actually. So, I'm going to kind of get myself all equipped, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Alright, so now we're going to kind of continue on here. And we're gonna go find that cave. Enemies approach. Bit excessive for... oh. I was gonna say
Very
one
well.
wolf, but, you know, when in Rome. So this is one thing that I'm going to do. Sometimes I'll do it as I pick up the codex. Other times I'll just kind of have a whole episode that I'll set aside, and we'll just kind of go through a bunch of the codex that we picked up along the way. But for these first, at least this episode here, I am going to read a few of these codex that we pick up here. So let's start with Hala. No creature is more revered by the Dalish than the Hala. No other animal has a god of its own. These white stags are much larger than ordinary deer, and their Dalish Hala keepers carve their antlers as they grow, making them curve into intricate designs. In ancient times, these stags bore elven knights into combat, but since the fall of the Dales, they are used less as mounts and more to pull the Aravels. And then we have Wolf. It's actually surprising here. We have much more of an entry for Wolf than we do for the Hala. Go figure. Wolf. It is rather unfair, the reputation that the wolf possesses in Ferelden. For a people that so clearly adore their hounds, Ferelden simultaneously harbor a distrust of wolves that borders on the unreasonable. Unreasonable, that is, if one were not familiar with the ancient legends regarding werewolves. There was a time in Ferelden's past when demons inhabited the bodies of wolves in great numbers, causing the wars against werewolves and spreading great fear and panic. The werewolves were slain, but even today, the noble wolf is still looked upon with distrust. From Legends of Ferelden, by Mother Eilith, of Denerim, 910 Dragon. An attack by wolves upon civilized folk happens rarely, often only in times of desperation, and even then, only when the wolves have the advantage of numbers. This can change during a blight. When darkspawn rise onto the surface, their presence dramatically alters the savage nature of normal beasts. In blights past, as the corruption of the darkspawn spread through the wilder areas of Thedas, it would infect the animals found there, and the more powerful of them would survive and be transformed into a more vicious and dangerous beast. A blight wolf is one such example. Mad with the pain of its infection, and only through the overriding command of the darkspawn does it still retain some semblance of its pack instincts. Blight wolves are always found in large groups, and will tend to overwhelm a single target if they can, using their numbers to their advantage. It is fortunate that these creatures rarely survive the corruption for very long. Yeah, no kidding. The Dalish Elves. In time, the human empires will crumble. We have seen it happen countless times. Until then, we wait. We keep to the wild borderlands. We raise Hala and build Aravels, and present a moving target to the humans around us. We try to keep hold of the old ways, to relearn what was forgotten. We call to the ancient gods, although they do not answer, and have not heard us since before the fall of Arlathan, so that one day they might remember us. Elganon, the eldest of the sun, and he who overthrew his father. Mithal, the protector. Van Harel, the dread wolf. Andruil, the huntress. Falandin, the friend of the dead. Durthamen, the keeper of secrets. Gillenine, the mother of Hala. June, the master of crafts. And Silas, the hearthkeeper. We gather every 10 years for the Arleth Ven, to retell the ancient stories and keep them alive. For when the human kingdoms are gone, we must be ready to teach the others what it means to be elves. Told by Gishorel, keeper of the Ralafarin clan of the Dalish Elves. Well then.
Of course.
Oh boy, we got one more here. And we thought we were gonna make progress. I think not. The Brazilian Forest. There are places in the Brazilian forest where the veil is so thin the difference between awake and dreaming is next to nothing. In one such place, a wood-shaper was born, under such unfortunate stars that his mother had named him Abelus, which means sorrow, and he lived up to his name. He could keep no apprentices, and lost his stock of bows in mishap after mishap, until finally he had nothing. The rest of the clan began to fear that his ill luck would harm them too, and whispered amongst themselves of casting him out. Abelus heard them, and resolved to change his luck, and so went into the forest alone to seek a suitable tree from which to make bows. At last he spied a young rowan growing beside a stream. He held his axe, and the tree cried out in fear, begging to be spared. But Abelus said, "If I do not take your life, mine will surely end." With 2 strokes he felled the tree. From the tree he made the finest 3 bows he had ever crafted. Pleased, Abelus returned to camp, and gave his bows to the hunters at once. By nightfall, however, the camp was in an uproar. The hunters had returned with braces of hares which, when cut open, revealed only worms and sawdust. The elder saw it was a sign that the hunters had robbed some spirit of its host, for it is well known that spirits do not go about the waking world on their own, but inhabit another creature's body. The elder worked a charm to banish the spirit back to the Fade, and the clan went to sleep hungry. The next day, the hunters brought back a doe, and again the beast bled sawdust. Now the clan began to fear the spirit would starve them, and wondered what they had done to deserve it. Abelus came forward then, and told of the rowan tree. The elder considered for a long time before declaring that they must replace what Abelus had taken from the spirit. So he sent the hunters to dig up a rowan sapling and bring it living to the camp. There the elder ordered the sapling planted and appealed to the spirit for forgiveness. There was a terrible sound then, as if the whole forest were crying out in protest. Darkness fell upon the camp, though it was just past midday, and when the darkness passed, a rowan grove, every tree bearing a frozen face of a terrified elf, stood where the camp had been. From then on, it was forbidden in every clan to cut living trees in the Brazilian forest. The spirits know nothing of forgiveness. A Rowan Grove, a Dalish tale, from Ferelden Folklore and History, by Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar.
Yes. Very well. Yes.
Yes.
This must be the cave. I don't recall seeing this before, do you?
No, I don't. Let's check it out.
My thoughts exactly. With luck, we'll find something that will make us clan heroes.
Ah, to be young and foolish.
It looks like the Shem was telling the truth. But these ruins look more human than elven.
More human than elven, he says. Curiouser and curiouser. And our first quick save.
Very well.
So, if you're following along with me and playing on Nightmare, one thing you do have to be careful of, and you may have just noticed there, is that the walking bomb, it hurt Tamlin. Yes, Nightmare spells have friendly fire, so you have to be careful with your big explodey spells. Either make sure that you're good to be able to heal up your companions, or you're gonna have to, you know, maybe be a little more careful with the placement of your spells. What was that?
Very well. Of course.
I've been waiting for this!
Very well. So shall it be!
Alright, well then. Took those guys out relatively unscathed. So far, so good. Yeah, this is some fairly human architecture, and it's actually some architecture that we're gonna see repeated. We'll just say that that's for lore-wise, you know, that we're gonna see the same kind of ancient human architecture in other ruins, rather than just assuming that it's a recycled tile set. Corpses that are here before we are. That's not good.
I can't believe this. You recognize this statue, don't you?
It's worn, but it does look vaguely familiar.
Back when our people lived in Arlathan, statues like these honored the creators. When the Shems enslaved us, much of that lore was lost. This looks like human architecture, with the statue of our people. Can these ruins date back to the time of Arlathan?
It's interesting. So much of our past is lost to us.
I'd never have guessed ancient elves might have lived here. With humans.
With humans, he says. Ouch. Gotta get out of there.
Yes. Be gone! You will not win! Very well.
No. Run away! My walking bomb will definitely kill me here.
I knew we could not lose!
Nice.
Those walking corpses? This place is haunted.
So, I think overall, I definitely want my character here to kind of be the master of the battlefield. Someone who controls where the enemies are, who moves when they move, and where they move. As well as, of course, who lives and who dies, because what kind of power gamer would I be without that if, you know, didn't have to feel like a demigod, of course. So, one thing I do want to touch on here was Tamlin going on this little tirade about the statue here, that this is a statue carved by a human, but it is representing an elven god. Now this I find to be very, very important, that they're planting this seed in the story already, and this is part 1 of 2 as to why I chose this origin story for my Lorethrough. The other lies right behind this door. But the fact that they're planting the seed so early on, that for one, ancient Arlathan elves. Their culture is here with humans, with very ancient humans, in a place that is nowhere near Arlathan, nowhere near the ancient Tevinter Imperium either. So, you know, it just becomes curiouser and curiouser. So, yeah, anywho, now we need to go on and see the thing on the other side of the door here. Oh goodness, it's a bear!
As you say. It will be done. Let us end this quickly!
Leave me alone,
Yes.
bro. Dude, like, look at how ugly this thing is, though. Like, goodness gracious. The Berescarn is... ugh. It used to be a bear, let's say that. Ouch.
By the creators!
Wonderful.
What was that thing?
Well, I can tell you what that thing was. That is a Berescarn. So, earlier we read the Codex on the wolf, and it talked about how when the blight occurs, animals will become tainted with the Darkspawn taint. They'll become corrupted, right? And this is exactly that. It is a bear that has been corrupted by the Darkspawn taint and transformed into a monstrous beast, right? And oh man, it was disgusting. Anywho, the loot around here isn't really worth going around and picking up. Let's break open the sarcophagi just because. But other than that, this right here is the biggest reason as to why I chose the Dalish elf origin as my origin story, I guess, because this mirror right here is one of the most important pieces of lore that comes back over and over again throughout the 3 current games of this series. So, let's touch it.
It's beautiful, isn't it? I wonder what the writing says.
Don't touch the glass.
Not that we'd leave a fingerprint on it. See how clean it is? Not a single smudge or crack. I wonder what this writing is for. Maybe this isn't... Hey, did you see that? I think something moved inside the mirror.
Inside the mirror? Let me see.
Look, don't you see it? There it is again.
Oh.
Can you feel that? I think it knows we're here. I just need to take a closer look. It's showing me places. I can see some kind of city. Underground. And there's a great blackness. It saw me. Help! I can't look away!
Can you hear me? I am very sorry.
That's not a good way to introduce yourself to someone.
You're awake. You've the god's own luck, Lethaline. You're back at camp. Everyone is worried sick about you. How do you feel?
How did I get here, Fenrirel?
Hashem brought you back 2 days ago. You don't remember him?
Wait, you're telling me I've been here for 2 days?
He was a Grey Warden and appeared out of nowhere with you slung over his shoulder. You were delirious with fever. He said that he found you outside a cave in the forest, unconscious and alone. He left you here and ran off again. The Keeper's been using the old magic to heal you.
Oh man, I need to speak to the Keeper right away.
She wants to talk to you too. Stay here, I'll get her.
I see you are awake, Dalan. It is fortunate Duncan found you when he did. I know not what dark power held you, but it nearly bled the life from you. It was difficult even for my magic to keep you alive.
Duncan, is he the one who brought me back?
Yes. He introduced himself as a Grey Warden. Duncan thought there may have been darkspawn creatures inside the cave. Is that true?
All I remember was the mirror.
A mirror. And it caused all this? I have never heard of such a thing in all the lore we have collected. I was hoping for answers when you woke, but there are only more questions. And Tamlin remains missing. He is more important than any lore in these ruins. If he is as sick as you were, his condition is grave. Duncan returned to the cave to search for Darkspawn, but we cannot rely on him to look for Tamlin as well. We must go ourselves, and quickly. Do you feel well enough to show us the way, Dalan? Without you, we will not find it.
I'm up to it, Keeper. I feel fine.
I am relieved to hear it. I am ordering the clan to pack the camp so we can go north. Take Merrill with you to the cave. Find Tamlin if you can, but do it swiftly.
Are you not interested in the ruins and the mirror?
I would be lying if I said I was not. But whatever knowledge lies in that cave is not worth our children. I send you back with hopes of finding Tamlin, and that is all.
Take Merrill to the cave and find Tamlin. I understand.
Go quickly, for Tamlin's life hangs in the balance.
Pray for me, Keeper. Alright, so that's where we're gonna wrap this one up here. Yeah, you know, one thing I do want to touch on really quick here is the mirror, you know, really quickly once again. You know, of course I mentioned already that it is the biggest reason why I chose this origin story, you know, for our playthrough here. But more than that, I want to discuss what actually just happened there. For one, there was distortions in the mirror. And then Tamlin, he said that he could see some massive underground city filled with monsters, right? Like, that's pretty significant. Usually mirrors don't show other places, right? So, I don't know about the Keeper, but I'm going back in that cave for the mirror. Tamlin, I mean, it's been 2 days. Homeboy's dead. There was walking corpses. There was corrupted bears. Like, nah, I'm sorry. He is just... he's donezo. Lost cause. Anyway, this has been a very long episode here. I appreciate all of you guys for sticking through it with me. Next episode here, we're going to wander around the camp before we head out. We're going to read a whole bunch of codex. We're going to start talking about the, you know, elven gods and kind of discussing and introducing them, I guess. So, anyway, thank you guys so much once again. Like and subscribe, and have yourselves a wonderful day.